What are you on the trail of, Whiskey? Smelling some corruption? What are you on the trail of? What are you on the trail of? Oh, what do we got here? Let's scope it out, Whiskey. How's it going, everyone? Whiskey was smelling out some corruption and he landed us here, right over here to the Defiance Municipal Court. Now, if you look, they say that if you look real closely through that window, you could see the judge sitting in there sometimes, and many times you'll see the sheriff's head bobbing up and down. Let's talk about corruption today again, right? I'm going to refer back, for anyone that's been following along with my case, I'm going to refer you back a little bit here. This way. And we are, let's talk about a few things. Corruption, right? Judges not following their oaths, out to ruin people's lives. When all of my stuff first started going on, I've said from the start that they're all corrupt and they're gonna find some way to screw me out of it, right? So I took my complaint to the Attorney General, who gave you some lame-ass excuses saying he has no control over it, no jurisdiction, right? Pee on the courthouse, come on. And then, you know, from there, it just kept on going and going and going. I tried to reach out here, reach out there. My employer stepped up to defend the sheriff's office and this corrupt judge, Troy Essex, who was not a judge at the time. He was acting prosecutor. Nothing but a piece of shit. That's you, Mr. Troy Essex. A total piece of trash, right? Let's be clear what we got going on here. So as I said, I had, so then because of my employer, you know, I was waiting around and waiting for results, and I was getting ignored and getting nowhere. In the meantime, I started losing everything, right? Then someone made me aware enough to pull out, to contact the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, right? And Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Contact those people and get results, is what I was told, right? So indeed, that's what I did. Contacted the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and I made my complaint very well known. Now, also, I was screwed out of my unemployment benefits, which I should have been totally entitled to. But they chose to continue bending me over, right? That's these public servants in here, combined with my employer. And they showed us that they run the show around here. My employer showed up in a meeting before they fired me with a notepad full of everything I own, and pretty much told me, either you side against the alleged victim and turn on somebody else in favor of the sheriff's office, in favor of their corruption, to save your job. Otherwise, here's a list of everything you own, and it's because of us, and we own you, which is a lie, right? And is not right. And I proved all this stuff with the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. However, when I first did that, I said, all of these people are nothing but scum, and they all work together. Let's consider something here. Your judges are all out of order. All of our judges are. We need to put the fucking hammer down and put them in order. We are the boss, not them. Okay? Troy Essex ain't the boss of fucking shit. He runs a kangaroo court. Took over the same kangaroo court that Judge John Rohrs, who is an oath violator, did, right? Anyways, let's consider something. When you file unemployment, sorry, sometimes you see the spitter where I'm a little bit dehydrated. Anyways, I'm aware that that happens though, right? Try not to spit while I talk. But so when you file unemployment, let's be clear about this. A lot of people don't understand. You file unemployment. If you get denied, you got to do your appeal. When you do your appeal, now it goes to unemployment commission. The head of that, the people that head that and make the decisions there for your appeal are judges. The head of the unemployment bureaus are judges, guaranteed. I want you to understand that, right? When you file Civil Rights Commission, you know, all these commissions, the head of that, the guy investigating my case, Mr. Charles Steele, absolutely not related, okay, because any Steele from my blood honors oaths and does the right thing, right? But this guy is a judge, right? So when you're out here calling out this fucking corruption, they ain't gonna do shit. They ain't gonna do shit to help you. So I submit my complaint. He gets back with me. Mr. Charles Steele does. I'm going to do, for anyone wondering, I'm going to do a live, hopefully a little later today. And I'm going to do a live and I'm going to pull up all the paperwork. Okay, I'll pull up all the receipts. This is the thing. I'm making my claims and I've done nothing but show receipts all along. I got the receipts to back up everything I say. They have no receipts. They have nothing but lies and stories changing constantly. But now they drug it out. See, oh, you didn't reach the statute of limitations, so they fucking drug it out, right? Because there's a reason for that. You could be convicted of a crime for something that happened several years ago. But these people, if you don't get your shit filled out in time, then they come up with something about statute of limitations like a year or something, right? Oh, you, bend over and take it. That would make this Mr. Essex a rapist, right? That's who these sick come out and face me. Put your fucking title down and face me man to man. You won't dare. You won't dare. You piece of shit. Right? So let's consider this. So Mr. Charles Steele contacts me back when I first made my complaint to the Civil Rights Commission. And I made clear what happened, the illegal actions, unrightful actions of my employer, and made clear that they are doing it in retaliation for the sheriff's office. And then after that, once I filed my complaint with the Civil Rights Commission, 2 weeks later, they came and stole everything from me by force, guns out, all fucking armored up, forced me out of my house and took away all of my property. The sheriff's office was the last people in possession of my property that they took by force. And nobody makes them do their job. So come on out. That means you're illegitimate. Come on out with your fucking hands up. Trash. Tired of it, right? Tired of it. So they don't like the way I do shit. Well, this is how I'm going to get results. You want to come throw me in jail, arrest me for something? Figure it out, bitch. Figure it out. Okay? So Mr. Charles Steele, a judge over the Civil Rights Commission, handed my case, okay, then contacts me after I already shown enough proof to begin with, contacts me and tries to convince me to fill out this form. He tells me, oh, if you fill this out and sign this, you'll have the right to sue. I thought about it and I almost did. He sent it to my email, but before I signed it, I thought about it. And then before I finished thinking about it, a couple days later, sends me another email. I need you to sign this. Well, I thought about it and I'm like, I ain't signing that. I ain't signing that. That gives me the right to sue with this whole fucking county of corruption. Like I'm going to get anywhere. So I said, no, sir. I demand that you finish this investigation like you're supposed to. Well, then when I do that, then he sends me a form and I'll show it all on the live later on, right? Sends me a form, sends me the employer's statement, right? The employer's statement from their lawyer. And in that statement, the only thing they say is that they fired me with just cause because I was a no-call, no-show, right? And any of my other claims have no substantiation, even though I proved all of it, right? So I said, well, Mr. Charles Steele, here, I'll send you exhibits, this one, that one, right? I sent him paperwork and recordings, which I will play, and I have already in some videos played, where it was my employer calling me, telling me not to show up to work till they had a chance to meet with me. Several days go by, then they meet with me, and that's when Miss Joellen Hornish, the CEO of that company, who was allowed to sell that company while it was under investigation, right? She meets with me, tries to convince me to change my stance against the sheriff's office. And I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. They violated me. My life's fucked up because they violated me. And you know it, and now you're trying to protect them. She said, well, if you don't want to talk about your personal life and change your stance, you no longer have a job here. Well, you just fired me for no valid fucking reason. That means I should have been allowed my unemployment. They fucked me out of it. Why? Because you complain about judges, they all stick together. They all stick together. Every freaking one of them, right? I said in one of my earlier videos, I said, I'm going to keep on, but I have no faith in the system. I'm sure they're going to find a way to screw me over, right? So I sat here after making complete proof of my claims, and any of their claims has been totally invalidated by me proving that they lied through their teeth, right? Now I don't hear nothing. Now over a year has gone by. Over a year has gone by, and I'm sick of it. My life's only falling apart worse. So I get a hold of Mr. Charles Steele this morning. Say, hey, I'd like to know what's up with my case. I haven't heard nothing from you in over a year. What the hell is going on here? His response was, and I'll show it too, right? His response was, this case is closed, thank you. That was all. What the fuck do you mean this case was closed? Nobody contacted me. Nobody told me any of the findings. Nobody told me nothing. And that's what they do, because they know I ain't got a lawyer. They know I ain't got no proper representation. So they closed this case, right? They wiped their hands with it because, well, this guy, right? So I contact him back. I go, no, sir, what do you mean this case is closed? I demand you reopen it then, because I have proven my shit and you're ignoring it. You are not doing your job. He responds back to me, we can't do nothing about police matters. That's up to the Ohio Attorney General, and then gives me the Attorney General's website. So I contact him back again. Look here, you piece of shit. You're not doing your job. I already contacted the Ohio Attorney General before I contacted your ass. The Ohio Attorney General is also in violation of my civil rights. I contacted the Civil Rights Commission. Don't tell me you got no authority over them. It's my civil rights, and I contacted the Civil Rights Commission. How the can't you do nothing about it? Well, we can't do nothing about it because we're sucking each other's dicks. And that's the truth. And I told him plain out, have I been another race or a fairy, they would have been all over getting me justice. But because I'm just some middle-aged white man, they say, F you, right? I'm not going to take this lying down. Your lives are going to be hell until I feel satisfied with it. They are trash, every fucking one of them. If I didn't have whiskey with me right now, I'd go in here with the camera on and get them to try to tell me I can't. That's coming. Don't worry. That's coming. Right? A lot more other shit's coming that I've been refusing to let out because I try to be the better person, right? I'm not trying to, I don't feel good about somebody's life ends up ruined or livelihood ends up ruined because of some shit that I did, right? That I proved. And so sorry, I was hoping they would have called the police. If I seen the police show up there, I'd certainly go back. They don't want none. And I say that, and you get idiots on here. Oh, who are you, Billy Badass? Prove I'm not, because they don't want none. They don't want to deal with me, right? Now, let's tell you something else. So I also went and took my complaint to everyone, right? Everyone under oath. I went to the city police, of course. Oh, well, that's out of our jurisdiction, right? I went to the state police. They say that's out of our jurisdiction. And I got that on camera. We are only allowed to patrol the state highways, is what they told me, right? Meanwhile, ever since, and actually just this weekend, just Saturday night, I counted 4 different state police cars driving down Hopkins Street in Defiance, a city street, not a public highway, not a state route. okay? And they've been pulling people over, ticketing them. So we're gonna get up here to the city council also, and we're gonna put a stop to this fucking bullshit, okay? You keep your state police on your state highways because they can't do their job otherwise, right? Because they can't hold their oath otherwise, and they can't go against the sheriff, and the city police can't go against the sheriff. No, none of these are going to go against each other. This is the shape we're in these days. Once upon a time, see, what a lot of people don't understand is once upon a time, this a sheriff is a duly elected, right? He's elected by the people. His job is to protect the people and to do what's right by the Constitution, right? But this piece of shit, he's doing what the money is telling him to do. This is a situation we got going here. And I, for one, ain't putting up with it. Well, but what am I going to do about it? Well, because the rest of the people act like, well, it's okay. And they're the government, so they're allowed. Because the people, this is the shape we're in this country. The people who don't want to understand, they want to act like, oh, this is the golden age and everything's going to be great now, right? They don't understand that Stargate is the biggest threat humanity faces. That it don't matter who we are. We need to come together and stop being against each other. We are all facing the same threat of AI, Stargate, right? Rest assured, that's a very serious threat. Meanwhile, and then they put in charge of government spending, Doge, they put Elon Musk, the biggest welfare recipient there is, wasting all our money on these fucking rockets. And they put him in charge of figuring out government spending. Oh, yeah. And while he's doing that, he's telling us they're going to take any of that money saved to try to convince you that they've been to Mars. We can't even get to the moon. Plain and simple. We ain't been to the moon. No man, human foot will not step outside the firmament. Guarantee you that. We will never step foot on Mars. But so let's just keep in consideration what's going on here. The people don't want to band together, don't want to stand with each other, don't want to stand for each other, right? And because of that, we will all continue to constantly be violated. I mean, you can get out here and do your First Amendment audits, filming cops all you want. You're not changing nothing. It ain't changing nothing. All they're doing is coming out with more rules against us. That's another thing I'm gonna hit on my live stream. Ohio, right? Ohio's stance on Freedom of Information Act, okay? Ohio's pushing to eliminate police immunity. So in retaliation to that, this is all retaliation and people don't see that. And in retaliation for that, governor signs in a thing that says, if you want freedom of information, you'll now pay $700 to $1,000 to get it, right? Well, I'm gonna show you the workaround for that. Well, a lot of people don't realize, too many people don't realize, okay? If you're convicted of a crime, you don't need, not if you are accused of a crime at all, you do not need any Freedom of Information Act. I will show you the paperwork you fill out yourself, and they have to give you everything pertaining to it, the recordings and everything else. You don't need Freedom of Information. Get going. You don't need any kind of Freedom of Information Act to get information that pertains to your case. But, you know, they understand that a lot of people are not aware of that. So a lot of people are now going to be getting convicted of crimes and getting nowhere because they can't get, you know, we're going to show you that. But that's the facts. Anyways, I just figured I'd give an update for that and fill everybody in and watch for that live stream. I'll be hopefully today, hopefully a little bit later today, I'll get it around and I'm going to show my receipts. Okay. And so anyone who dares say I'm in the wrong, because I get it. You could hear these kinds of things and say, man, this guy's really putting too much into it. This guy's really thinking it wrongly. You know, I'm not. Okay, because I will back up everything I already have, right? But I'm gonna show all the receipts, okay? First and foremost, the company's only stance was We fired him for being a no-call, no-show. Meanwhile, I have a fucking recording that says, hey, you, don't show up to work. Okay, that's not a no-call, no-show, right? So they lied right off the bat and then provided no other proof of anything. So, I mean, call me wrong all you want. I'm the one proving that they're the liars. And if they lied, there's a reason, right? But you're not going to get no justice because the rich control this world, okay? And that's the truth. In your own community, the richest are controlling it. This area is controlled by Hornishes. And people don't want to, I'll show you where the sheriff's office, one, had employees on their board. The employer, FCL, had employees on their board that are also members of the sheriff's office. Let's see what this pop machine says. And not only that, the employer, FCL, owned and operated was by Miss Joellen Hornish, right? The sheriff's office has just awarded some acknowledgement to Deputy Hornish, right? Is that making any sense yet? Is anything falling into line there? They're all in it together and they're protecting each other. How much more proof do you need? Oh, but the government says we don't count that as proof. Well, fuck you, government. And even furthermore than that, I also proved how Miss Joellen Hornish wrongfully took advantage of and illegally used the Paycheck Protection Program and while getting all that money to pay her employees under the Paycheck Protection Program, even though her company was busy, had work, right? Instead, she added more hours onto us to get free labor out of us. And I proved that, and they ignored it, right? That's our tax dollars that we're paying. Let's just keep snoring over it. Let's just keep pretending, right? Let's just keep snoring, and then one day wake up and wonder how the we got here. So I have an attitude lately, and sometimes I get on here venting all that out. So I apologize for some people. Sometimes that can be taken the wrong way. But how do you get answers? How do you get results? Oh, we're going to bend you over because you don't fit a special category, right? You don't have no rights. Ha, silly American. You ain't got no rights. That's exactly what they're telling me. Meanwhile, also, Miss Joellen Hornish the Hornish family was allowed to sell their company, right? While being investigated. Now, me, on the other hand, they were drawing out this fucking investigation on me when I proved right off the bat I was innocent, proved right off the bat they were in the wrong. They didn't care. They continued on, and during that time told me I was not allowed to sell anything. Right? But that bitch is allowed to sell her company and wipe her hands with it. No, she should be held accountable. Right? There's some people that deserve jail time over this. Until we open our eyes and stand together and come together for each other, we're not going to get nowhere. So, I mean, I'm sorry, but the people that claim they're here for change, for our Constitution, for the better, okay, we're not getting nowhere filming police. I mean, that's the whole issue. I'm not saying not to do it, stuff like that. I'm just saying we're acting like that's the whole important thing. We're overlooking major violations, okay? Us auditors need to be out here putting the camera in their face when we hear about these violations and when we understand shit has been wrong. People have been wronged, okay? Instead, we're only concerned about, oh, I'll sue you if you don't let me film you in public. Who gives a shit? One, they don't like being filmed, that's why, or publicity, and that's why I'm going public with my shit. Okay, you asshole, Mr. Charles Steele, I sat here waiting. That was all I had left now because they f***ed me on everything else. And instead of even being noble enough to say, hey, fuck you, screw off, instead, you just quietly close the case and let me sit here and fucking rot. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments. And anyone who might have similar situations, spill it out to us, right? Other than that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Whiskey and I, we appreciate it very much. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments, for that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See you.